Hello everyone, it's Big Cuff Daddy Glenn Cuff, and this ain't the weekly wrestling rundown, but I was shooting a little special video for the Superstar Shakeup starting tonight for the WWE. For this video, I'm just gonna give y'all my predictions as to who might get moved. I'm gonna break it down by show of who's gonna get moved from what show to the next. And, you know, if you guys agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you got your own picks, let me know down in the comment section. And while you're there, make sure you like, share, and subscribe this video. But yeah, let's get into it, man. These are my picks. These are mine. Just my opinion of where I think some people should be moved with the Superstar Shakeup and everything. I don't know. I have no, I have no script of who's gonna move. So these are just my predictions, my picks, in my opinion, of who I think should be placed on the show based on gimmicks and everything, and if they get a push or whatever. But we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna start off with the Raw brand. Here's some guys. I think some guys and girls who I think should be probably moved from Raw to SmackDown. And after I break down both shows, I do like the free agents, so-called free agents / NXT call-ups, and some people returning from injuries. But yeah, this is how I'm gonna do it. First off, we got Finn Balor. I think Finn Balor, he's been on Raw since his NXT call-up. We saw brief glimpses of him getting a push and stuff. He was the first ever Universal Champion. And then also he got to take on Brock Lesnar a few months ago. He looked real good, but he's always not floundered, but like he's always been an upper mid card guy. So I think him going to SmackDown will probably push him back up into the main event. Moving over, another guy who I think could probably benefit from going to Raw, going from Raw to SmackDown Live is Lashley. I know a lot of people probably don't like Lashley, but in my eyes, dude's been a main event caliber wrestler ever since I seen him in his first run with WWE and everything. And I thought that's what he was gonna do, was get a big main event push when he came back, but that's yet to be seen. So he's had a good little feud with Finn Balor. And he did some good work with Roman Reigns and also with Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and against the Shield and stuff, and his work with Braun Strowman. So he in my eyes, he's a main event caliber wrestler. But I think he could probably he's in that shuffle of upper mid card / main eventers, and he hasn't gotten that push yet to be a main eventer. And I think he'd probably get that on SmackDown Live, like Finn Balor also. Another guy I can see going over from Raw is Elias. I said Elias has been now, he's sort of been like an upper mid card guy. I think he could probably break into the main event scene, over on SmackDown Live and stuff. But, he would be a good pick. Apollo Crews is another guy. He was on SmackDown Live before, had some pretty good matches there. And then he went to Raw, where he became sort of an enhancement talent. And it seems now that he's not with Titus O'Neil. He's getting a bit of a push, but, it's like off and on. So I would like to see him go back to SmackDown Live and probably get like a bit more of a push, because we're seeing his abilities more and more now that he's on his own and stuff. So I think sending him over will be good. Breaking down to the tag team division from Raw. I think Gable and Rude could probably go to SmackDown Live. I know Rude was on, both of them were on SmackDown Live before. And, Bobby Roode, upper mid-card guy on there. And Gable was in the tag team American Alpha, and then later on teaming with Shelton Benjamin. But this team of Gable and Rude, I think they could probably solidify themselves more on the SmackDown Live tag division. So I would like to see them probably go there and mix it up, change the scenery for them guys. Also the Ascension. Ascension, I know they was on SmackDown Live before, doing the whole gimmicky thing with the Fashion Files with Breezango. But since going to Raw, I said they still are used as an enhancement tag team. but they've gotten a little more aggressive. So I would like to see them come back to SmackDown Live and start anew, get a little bit of a push and stuff, showing their aggressive side. Because these guys, remember when they were in NXT, they were a very talented tag team, and hell, even held the tag team titles down in NXT for a long period of time. I'm not sure if they still are the longest reigning NXT tag champs, but they were dominant down there, and I could see there's still potential in these guys. Also moving over, I can see the B team moving over, just getting a change of scenery for those guys, because they ain't really done too well. They were tag team champions on Raw, but then once that ended, hell, they just went back to being another tag team. From the women's division, I can see Sasha Banks being moved over. I think her being on SmackDown Live. She's been on Raw for a very long time. I think a change of scenery is good for her. I think her being on SmackDown Live, she probably get moved back up into the women's main event scene over on SmackDown Live, and quite possibly be the SmackDown Live women's champion. Also going over, Ember Moon, a returning Ember Moon from injury. I see her going over. She has the potential of being a main eventer. I mean, she's talented as hell. I mean, and since she's been on Raw, she's sort of been lost in the shuffle. Like, you know, she ain't been losing too many matches, but, you know, she ain't gotten pushed either. So I think her being on SmackDown Live probably push her past that glass ceiling that she's been hitting over on Raw. Nia Jax. Nia sort of fell out of the main event scene after Raw Women's title, and I think this will be a reboot for her going to SmackDown Live and you know, facing off against some new talent over there. Dana Brooke also, she's starting to get a little bit of a push now, but she for the longest time has been a sort of an enhancement for the women's division, enhancement talent for the women's division. So I think her being on SmackDown Live, giving her a little bit of a push, continuing that push that she's getting now over on SmackDown Live, I think, you know, she might go on to become something bigger than just an enhancement talent over on in the Raw women's division. But I think SmackDown Live would probably be the best fit for her. Alicia Fox moving over to SmackDown Live. I know she was probably there before, but like I said, just a change of scenery for her moving over. That's it for my picks from Raw. I'm going to go to SmackDown now. SmackDown picks. First and foremost, I'd like to see AJ Styles come to Raw. He's been the face of SmackDown for a while. He's been champion there. He's put on some great matches representing that brand good. He's also, you know, had some big profile matches since being on SmackDown. So I think him going to Raw, I think elevate his career more. Also moving over, I would like to see Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe fits in better with the Raw talent over there, since he's a big bruiser, submissioner, and everything. I think he fits in more there. See him doing battle with Braun Strowman and others who are big bruiser types and stuff. So I moved Samoa Joe over there. Another guy who's been on SmackDown Live for a while and really hasn't been on Raw much, Randy Orton. I think it's time for a change of scenery for him. Come in, quite possibly get back, renew a rivalry he had a while back with the guy by the name of Roman Reigns. They had a pretty good few years back. I don't think they've ever crossed paths after that. But hell, I wouldn't mind seeing them go at it again since it's been so long and stuff. But yeah, I was saying Randy Orton, not just solely for that purpose, but just to change the scenery for him and everything. He's been on SmackDown Live for a while. Also moving over, The Miz. I like to see The Miz move over, quite possibly go after the Universal title while Seth Rollins is holding it. He always shined best when he was on, he shined best when he was on Raw and everything. And since he's been back on SmackDown, he's sort of taking a back seat to things. Haven't really had like a lot of high profile matches. But yeah, I think a move to Raw would be good for him. Another guy, he just came to SmackDown Live from 205 Live, and that was Mustafa Ali. I think he would do wonders on Raw. You know, Raw being bigger guys and stuff, usually bigger guys, I think he'd be able to showcase his talents a little more. Being a smaller guy, I think he'd probably shine because he is a smaller guy on Raw and stuff. You know, like Seth Rollins did and stuff, and Finn Balor. I think he'd probably be a bigger star on Raw than SmackDown. Tag teams, I like to see the Usos go over. I know a lot of people predicted the Usos would go over because they dropped the tag titles last week. But yeah, I can see them going over, starting anew on Raw because they done everything they do on SmackDown Live as far as the tag division. Also moving over, a tag team, or I should say a faction / group that's barely been used on TV. They got a little TV time, you know, a couple weeks ago, and that's Sanity. I can see them going over to Raw, starting anew, getting in the tag division, being a threat that they were in the NXT and stuff. I do think that would be a good fit for Sanity to move over to Raw. Also, the Colognes, they ain't been used on TV too much. Just add to the tag team division, just another tag team and stuff. They're a good tag team and everything, but just, you know, put them on Raw, let them get some matches and stuff, be in some matches or whatever. If you're going to use them as enhancement talent, tag team, use them as so. But I think they probably be used more on Raw than they have been on SmackDown. Moving on to the women's division of SmackDown Live, I think Charlotte Flair is going to probably move over to Raw. She's like the face of the women's division all around. Besides Ronda Rousey, Charlotte's the face of the women's division for WWE. She's the homegrown talent that is the face of the women's division. I should say that much. So I can see her being moved over to Raw. And Becky Lynch probably going over to staying on SmackDown Live as a SmackDown Live star, even though she's a dual branded champion. Also, Mandy Rose, I see her being a star in the making. I think she probably would flourish a little more on Raw. She's coming into her own on SmackDown Live, but I think she'll be exposed more on Raw. So I think they're going to probably put her over on there. Also, Naomi, since her husband is moving over, might as well let her move over too. I think putting her in a change of scenery is good. We seeing her face off against some different talent than what she's been used to on SmackDown Live. Sonya Deville, of course, let her follow behind Mandy Rose and everything. I think she has the potential of also being a getting exposed more on Raw than she has been on SmackDown Live. And last but not least, Carmella from the women's division on SmackDown Live. I can see her being moved over to Raw from SmackDown Live. The free agents, I'm gonna get down into the free agents. I'm gonna go through through the free agents that they have so far that's been on both shows since being called up from NXT, and tell you where I think they might land. EC3, I think he would probably do better on SmackDown Live. Let him come in as a mid-carder, feud with some mid-carders, move his way up, and everything. Let people know who he is. Probably just do an all-around reboot for EC3 and stuff. Raw, his booking on Raw has been atrocious in my opinion. Lacey Evans, I would put her on SmackDown Live because they would need. She seems like she's getting a monster push, and why not let a push be organic on SmackDown Live and let her be on there and let her flourish and quite possibly be a force to be reckoned with the women's division. Lars Sullivan, I will put him on SmackDown Live. Let him come up through the ranks of SmackDown Live, build him up as the monster that I guess they're going to book him to be, and just keep him away from Braun Strowman, because that's a pretty much like a match right there in the making. Like, I ain't gonna even say a dream match, but like, there's money in that feud right there. Lars Sullivan versus Braun Strowman. So keep him away from Braun and put him on SmackDown Live. Let him come up through there. Heavy Machinery, I would put on the Raw tag division. They just seem like they have a perfect fit right there. Even when they was on SmackDown Live, it didn't really seem like they really fit in with the SmackDown Live tag division. Nikki Cross, I would put on SmackDown Live. I think she's another potential to be a main eventer for the women's division. Let her come up through the ranks there and stuff. I can see her doing some great work with Asuka and others on the women's roster on SmackDown Live. Ricochet and Aleister Black, I know they've been tagging a lot lately, and I would move both of them to SmackDown Live, but I want them as a tag team. I would break them up, not so much so they could feud against each other, but so that they could feud against other people. Ricochet, you know, he's money. I think he would be unrestricted, or be a little less restriction while on SmackDown Live, and I think he can probably make a bigger name for himself than he would on Raw. Same thing with Aleister Black. Both guys, I think, have a potential of being main eventers, and both are tremendous talents. So I think both of them being separate individual superstars would be best on SmackDown Live for both of them. Some guys who were, you know, returning from injuries and stuff, where they would land. Bray Wyatt, I would put on Raw. I see some potential feuds with him, with likes of like Braun Strowman. You know, he can always rekindle a feud with Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins, you know, and other guys, even Elias. So I see Bray Wyatt going to Raw. Also, KO going to Raw. I see Kevin Owens returning to Raw. He's a main eventer in my eyes and stuff, and I can see him being an upper mid card / main eventer, or being a threat to the Universal title. Jinder Mahal, I will move back to SmackDown Live. I think he could probably use a break and get back on the rebound of things. He did good on his last run on SmackDown Live. Same thing with Mojo Rawley. Shelton Benjamin, I would move to Raw. He looked real good when he was on Raw against Seth Rollins a few weeks back. Tamina, I would move to SmackDown Live. She seemed like she had she's doing good on Raw, teaming with Nia Jax. I said, but she also did good too when she was on SmackDown Live. You know, she ain't getting no mega push or nothing, but she's still relevant enough, you know, to be on either show. Luke Harper, I will move to Raw. I can see him feuding with some of the Raw roster seems like the bruiser type, you know, like Samoa Joe and stuff. I can see him going on there feuding with Samoa Joe or Braun Strowman or others. Dolph Ziggler, I would definitely move him to SmackDown Live, where he can get a fresh start and everything, and quite possibly move up the ladder to the main event slot. And Sami Zayn, I would put on Raw. He looks like he's about to shine, and I would rather him be on Raw than SmackDown, because he's been on SmackDown before his injuries and stuff. And I'd like to see him return to Raw, where he shined best on the Raw roster and stuff. But yo, those are my picks and everything. Superstar Shakeup happening tonight on Monday Night Raw, and tomorrow night on Tuesday Night SmackDown. We'll see if these picks land. You know, if you guys disagree with some of my picks or movements, let me know in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. I'll be posting this up to Facebook and other social media posts, so you guys can let me know what you think and who you think will be moved where. But I have a video up for you on Wednesday detailing how my picks were for the Superstar Shakeup. All right, God bless. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Peace out.